Worms are cool. I like bugs and insects. I just like all of them. I think they're so cool. They're so neat and they're so unseen. Everyone's so concerned with things that are similarly sized to them or that they can keep as pets, and they forget about everything else. There's a lot of shit going on with them, you know? Got a favorite bug? Not necessarily, but I just really like a lot of ant species. The colony formation and, you know, the way they do things like that. It's very cool. Very cool. I don't like touching bugs though. You know, for a while when I was like in school, I thought to myself, oh, you know, I might actually like to study these, right? Bug study might actually be something that I'd love to get into because I find them so interesting. And then I was like handling them and I was like, I don't want to do this all the time. There were other people that really liked picking up and handling bugs. And I was like, I'm not freaked out, but I just don't want to if I don't have to. So I was like, nah. I think to study bugs like that, you gotta like want to pick up bugs, you know? No, thank you. No, thank you. You like beetles? Rhinoceros beetles? I don't dislike beetles. I think a lot of them are kind of boring, right? They just sit around. They just sit around. Have you heard of wasps that make their hive out of flesh? Yeah, wasps are probably my least favorite group. No, they're assholes and I want them gone. There are so many things that they do that are fucked up. Absolutely fucked up. They're the most aggro bugs for no reason. Completely aggro. What about mosquitoes? Oh, yeah, mosquitoes can go too. Oh, I don't like them. I don't like them. You know what I really hate? Those ones that are, it's the Asiatic mosquito. There's a bunch of them in the Northeast right now, and they've been taking over for years. It's a dark, like a black in color mosquito with white stripes on their legs, rather than the normal, smaller brown mosquito. They're big. They're big, and they're big enough that as they're flying past you, you can see the striped legs, right? They I do not like them. I do not like them. And when those ones bite me in comparison to a standard, like tiny, small brown mosquito, the welt that I get is completely different. I don't like those. I don't like those, but they're in like the New York area, and they have been for a hot minute. I don't like them. No thanks. Burn them all. Yeah, they have these ways of destroying, not colonies of them, because they don't really make colonies, but they have ways of trying to control them, and it just never works fast enough, right? It just never ever works fast enough to kill off the populations. So I feel like it's one of those things that they're just never going to be able to solve, is that mosquito issue. I think they're going to show up everywhere throughout the US over time, and that's it. That's it. I think everyone's fucked. They're fucked. I don't know. Do you like cockroaches? No, I don't like roaches. I don't find them interesting. There's no cool study about them. They're just, it's neat that they're resilient, but they don't have any behaviors that I find interesting. So I lived upstate most of my life. Mosquitoes were always nasty up there. I live in PA now. I don't think I've seen one in years. Yeah. It's because it's wetter. It's a wetter environment, you know, for sure. Heard they found a way to make mosquitoes infertile. Yeah. So what they do is they set out some bait. It's a thing where a mosquito will land on it, think it's drinking blood. It'll drink from it and go on its way. And then that thing that they drink is poisoned and essentially makes them, yes, infertile. So that's one way to do it, but you have to set up a lot of traps and things around for that. Yeah, they give them the gay gas. Exactly. And it's one way to help it, but you have to like really be diligent to do that. They've released ones bred to be infertile as well. So they're trying to do the most natural ways of culling them as possible, because the worst thing that can happen is someone runs around and starts spraying DEET. You know what fucking DEET is? You know about that repellent? DEET. It's it's widely used to repel biting pests such as mosquitoes and ticks. DEET. It's a neurotoxin, and some people have mosquitoes in their yards. You know, they have like tons and tons of mosquitoes, and they'll actually just hire a company to come to their property and spray DEET everywhere. And I'm like, hey, love the idea of killing off the mosquitoes, hate the idea of spraying it like on your own property. Yeah, near water, right? No, not good. Like we gotta do something else there. We gotta do something else. So I don't know. I don't know. When I hear of people doing that, I'm like, maybe just don't leave like yeah buckets of standing water around and stuff. But like people will have you know their gutters and they'll have their gutters emptying out into some bucket. They'll have a little rain bucket, and then they'll just have that rain bucket sitting there. And you know what happens? That's exactly where mosquitoes go to reproduce. They find, you know, standing water, non moving water, and they go into it. So, like, just don't leave it around. If you have water, make sure it's running, you know, and then no standing water. Like, that's it. That's it. It's so, it's simple and it's not perfect, but it helps control them a lot. I don't know. I know, man. Deep-based repellents are the only ones that work for me. Every other one is basically just sauce for the mosquitoes. Yeah, it's about your environment. If you're in an environment where they have great places to breed, then you got to change what's going on with that environment. You can't spray DEET around. Just means that you're spraying it into the ground, and potentially it will get into the groundwater eventually. And you know, it's not good. It's not good, man. It was made illegal in Alaska briefly.